Hey,
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Death Note overview for episodes 9 through 13. I believe it's
right.
9 through 13.
The last
Um,
episode we reviewed together was episode 8 in 2015.
yeah,
Uh, and then you did like episodes 9 through 13 on your own, but that was like also forever ago. So now that we're
yes.
doing videos again together, we're gonna do like an overview of the videos you did by yourself.
Yeah, just so that way, like AJ can have like his thoughts on video of what he thought of everything. Because
Because a
we,
lot of
me and
stuff
AJ,
happened in these episodes.
yeah, because me and AJ discussed it. It'd be kind of weird if he came back like without talking about this stuff. It'd be like, hey, it would just be so random too. You'd just be like, "Hey, everybody, how's it going?"
Yeah,
Like,
I'm back by the way.
yeah.
3 years after I was in the last Death Note video, and a month after we said we're gonna go back to Death Note.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so basically, we talked about this before. There's going to be a lot of Death Note reviews just all over the YouTube channel, like in the span of a few days, just uploaded repeatedly. So if you have my notifications on for my YouTube channel, if you're subscribed to me, be prepared to see a lot of notifications about Death Note, because that's what's going to be the main focus of this channel.
Is we plan on having it done when I'm actually visiting Massachusetts, where he is.
And
And
you'll be in 2019 webcam quality too, so that'll be
I know,
nice.
right? I won't be my shitty laptop.
Um,
I
But
mean,
yeah, we have to do the introductions because you haven't done those yet.
all right, I'm Alan Talent, and the guest star, I guess.
I always notice when we do videos for a while, you always use your full name. It's like what,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and then I'm Owen Finch. And yeah, basically we're just gonna kind of overview Death Note. Mainly it's gonna be like I'll talk too because it's also been a few months since I've talked about this stuff, so I want to kind of reinforce it. But it's mainly gonna be AJ kind of doing the talking because he hasn't been able to talk about this stuff on video yet. So um, he'll kind of set it up and then give his thoughts, and then um, and we're not going to do this, scene by scene. We'll talk about episodes in order, but we're not going to go through like every little thing that happened because then the video will be way too long. Um, so why don't we start off with? We're not going to say the episode dates to you. You can go back on my other videos online and see the dates. Um,
Okay. So anyway, with episode 9, it pretty much leaves off where episode 8 was, with Light is being monitored by Al and his task force, and he's getting around this by putting little portable TVs in his bag of chips,
mhm.
and then writing the names that are on, that come up on the TV.
Yep. Um,
So,
which we
that's just kind of nice to show like that wasn't just like a one-off thing. That's like a thing Light is having to like consistently do.
yeah. And then basically too in this episode, like light we sorry, not light, L realizes that basically no one's really doing anything suspicious. Well, I shouldn't say that. No one's doing anything that is directly linked to Kira, because I say no one's doing anything suspicious because Light was looking at Playboy magazines. That's
Yeah.
pretty suspicious. So I love that scene too, by the way, when he's like,
Oh yeah, it's just super awkward for his dad. He's like, oh my god.
yeah.
And like,
um
Light's probably embarrassed about it too, but he's like, look, I gotta do it.
yeah. And like too, it's the best thing too because it's not his dad can't come home and call him out on it either, because then
I know, 'cause it's like, huh, you've been reading pornos. How'd you know that? I've been spying on you.
yeah, um, it's like reading your daughter's diary pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Shit, I can't do anything.
yeah, but anyhow, but yeah, Elle realizes though that like no one's doing anything that like is directly linked to Kira, so they just have the cameras taken down and the you know the wires removed from the houses. Um, And the opening of season 9 I like too, where you saw Light feeding Ryuk apples in the beginning of the episode. And you could just see how much withdrawal like Ryuk went through when it came to apples. Now I think I've asked you this before, but I forget. Is this just a Ryuk thing, or can like do like all Shinigamis have to eat apples?
It's not really clear. It's just, I think it's like, I think it's just a Ryu thing.
Okay. Um.
Just it's like the Shinigami world sucks, and like they don't
Yeah.
really have anything. So
Yeah.
it's just like, oh my god, like a fresh food. Oh my god,
True.
that kind of thing.
But then why don't we talk about though? I'll talk about it now too. Actually, I'll set it up. L's still kind of like suspicious of these people that they've been investigating, so he realizes like he's got to do something, and then this sets it up. What does L do?
So Light is going to a college entrance exam, and who's sitting right behind him? L himself.
Yeah, I like the way they like talk about it too. Like you see the conductor giving the exam like tells him like to sit properly. And then like when Light turns around, like it's like a Death Note thing where like the colors will change.
Oh yeah, it's like L is blue and Light is red.
Yeah.
And it's like people make fun of it, like, I wish I could stop time when I think, and it's funny, but like it's more of like they're just thinking so fast, you know?
Yeah, and like Light doesn't. I think Light notices something strange, but he doesn't realize like what it is. But he just like he's like he was supposed to thinking like this is pretty damn weird right here. Like, but he doesn't like think anything of it because like, what a coincidence. Like, why would he think like the day he's gonna go take a college exam would be right behind him? So it's like
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly expect that.
Yeah.
But also, I do like just the fact that like he's going to a college entrance exam, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of shows that like time passes.
Yeah.
Because he was in high school before, now it's like he's graduated and he's like moving on to college.
And this is like in the span of like 9 episodes too. Like
yeah, it's like a couple months have passed. Yeah.
Yeah. Quickly too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this like in Breaking Bad. Like, I mean, this isn't a criticism. It's just like
that's how most TV shows are. It's like 5 seasons, and it's been like a year and a half.
Yeah. So.
Well, 2 years exactly, but like a lot of that was, a lot of that last year was, in a little time skip type of thing.
Yeah, but like you wouldn't even like notice like if the Light college scene too like didn't happen, you wouldn't have even noticed that like time had passed too. Like, I mean maybe you would a little bit, but like obviously we know like a little time's passed, but I don't think we would have known like that amount of time has passed.
Yeah. And it's not like a whole lot, it's like he was a high school senior and now he's
it's
kind of funny that Light's my age, It's like, geez.
Yeah.
The guy's way smarter than me. Also, I don't like go around killing people, so
Well, this is also filmed in like 2006, so.
Oh yeah, I was like 5 when like this came out, but still.
Yeah. But then a college like ceremony happens. What happens in the college ceremony?
2 people got the highest scores on the exam. Perfect scores, actually. Kind of also showing that they're equals. Light and L. Light is like characters even pointed out in the crowd. Like Light is like clean dressed, like like formally speaking, acts like he's like silver spoon in his mouth, and L is like like raggedy clothes, didn't plan for this at all. And if you notice, he's actually reading off a blank piece of paper, which is really funny.
Yeah. And actually, the funny thing is, and Light notices like something too. Like it's the same guy that took this test with him too. So
he was probably like, oh, that guy's kind of weird before, but now it's like, all right, something's up.
Yeah. Because actually, I'll tell you too, the thumbnail of like my video, when I did the review, is like that scene where like they go up on the podium, like, and you just see like L like watching him behind him, like.
Yeah. And when they get off the stage, L is like, "You're Light Yagami, you this, and this." Like he starts listing facts about him.
And I believe too, this is like the scene too, where we know, like L is using like some type of famous Japanese music artist in the show, as like an alias name, and he actually I'll let you talk about this scene because you haven't been anyone. What does he say to Light?
He says, "Hey, I have a secret about the investigation. You want me to tell you?" Light is like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And L says super nonchalantly, L."
Yeah.
And Light just freaks the fuck. He doesn't show it, but he freaks out. Like,
Yeah.
the time stoppy thing you're talking about where light's red and L is blue, and light is just like a million things going through his head.
Yeah, I think too. What one thing we didn't really talk about, like Light too, like thought like he had everything figured out, up to this point. Like the cameras had been taken out, the wires is like abnormal. He thought he was basically no longer a suspect at that point. I shouldn't say like he didn't completely think that, but he basically thought like he finally was about to like win the battle in a way.
Yeah, he was about to like start having some of the heat off his back.
Yeah, and then this scene right here happens, and it changed everything. It changed the whole show pretty much.
Pretty much.
And then
it's like the two main enemies go head to head. It's like now Light knows what L looks like, and L is showing like he really suspects Light.
Yeah. So basically, Light can't react because then if he shows like a reaction, like L will be on to him pretty much. So they do the whole scene like where L leaves like in his limousine, and Light just walks back to his room, and he's.
Well, I like how they shoot it too. Like Light, you can't see like most of Light's face, but he looks completely calm. Gets on the bus, goes home, goes in his door, and he finally sits down, and you can talk about it.
Should I let you talk about it though? Because it's kind of.
Okay, yeah, sure. He sits down in his chair and then he just screams. He's so mad. Like he had to hold it in that whole ride home.
Yeah.
And when finally he's in his room, he's furious.
I think his mom was at the house too. I asked how his exam went. He said I did really well, and
yeah, like he can't let it show,
Yeah. This was like the best scene because he realizes that L has it because one thing we didn't talk about is Light's not even sure this is really L in this episode. He just thinks it's like some type of actor, and Light can't eliminate this guy just via the Death Note because he could end up picturing the actual music artist and cause him to have a heart attack.
And then they'll know for sure it was Light.
Yeah, because L's the only person. Because L's probably doing this, but he's probably not using the same name every time too.
Oh yeah, and it's like, oh hang on, can you pause this? I have to get the phone.
Yep.
Hey, sorry about that. And answer my phone. But yeah, we were talking about how Light doesn't even know if this is the real L or an actor.
Yeah, and we were talking about too, like how L's probably doing this too to like other people, but not using the same name. So there's a possibility, chance, like even if Light ended up killing the real pop star, that he would be instantly a suspect.
Oh yeah, like even if he killed L.
Yeah.
It'd be like a select group of people, and they could like really pin him down from there.
Yeah.
It's either like get caught instantly, or be like one of like 5 suspects.
Yeah. So basically, what he comes up with is he's gonna play L's chess match, and then once he finds out like his real name and stuff, and once he won't be like a suspect, he's gonna permanently eliminate L. Because like we even find out too, like what Light was originally planning to do to L. Like once he found out his name, like he wasn't gonna have him like killed, like violently. He was just gonna have him like commit suicide or something like that. So.
Yeah. But I also love how Light isn't even that upset that he's almost got caught. He's upset that he got humiliated. Like he's like, damn, humiliated. Like kind of just shows how freaking crazy Light is,
Yeah, and like how much of kind of like an egomaniac he is too. Like, And basically that was the whole episode. Letter grade, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give that episode like an A. It's almost a perfect episode. Really nothing wrong with it. So there you go. Then we had episode 10, and this sets up episode 11. But this a lot of this episode's back to focus with Light and L is like testing Light. To kind of see if he really is Kyo or not. So, I'll let you.
So Light's going along with what he said earlier. They need to like act like friends, even though like behind the scenes they're trying to like get each other killed, basically.
Yeah.
They have the tennis match, which you can talk about that one.
We've talked about this before, pretty much. We talked about it in the season premiere of Breaking Bad. We haven't the mid-season premiere, but we haven't talked about it like fully because we haven't actually talked about the scene yet. But they have the tennis match, and to everybody else, it's a tennis match. Just two guys having a tennis match.
Yep.
But there's just so much going on. Basically, this tennis match is them just trying to take each other down. Basically, they're thinking in each other's heads, like Light's thinking in his head, that, you know, if I throw this tennis match out, then maybe Elle will have a way to suspect me as Kira. But if I don't throw the tennis, but it's also like Light just doesn't want to lose to Elle, and
Elle's thinking the same thing.
Like this, like basically this one tennis match is like them like having this big confrontation with each other, and having like, you know, this is basically like deciding what their next move is gonna be. Like,
well, like people think they're playing tennis when they're really playing chess, you know?
Yeah. And I even love like how they have the fans watching, and they think like this is like this really cool thing because that's kind of, not really,
and
but
like they point out like Light is like a junior high school champion, and like Elle is like the British champion.
Yeah. I even like how they have like little things too. Like Light can't even ask him like, you know, if he even went to British for a while. He's like, would Elle think I'm suspecting him? And you know, Light asks him.
Think about like every little thing they say.
Yeah, it's just like, you really can't do this tennis scene justice. Go, like, if you you have to go watch this tennis scene to really know how awesome it is too. Like, because it's like they're trying to take each other down, not just in the game, but just in life right now too. Like, and I thought it was interesting. Light won too, which was that Light won the tennis match. Like Light, and he won by 2 points too. But I wonder if it's like one of those things you have to win by 2. So, but that's.
I think so.
Yeah, but that's not. But this is not. We're not talking about tennis wars here. We're talking about Death Note. So,
Yeah, I know. If Death Note just became about tennis, I'd be completely okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, Light and Elle are just like, you know what? Time out, guys. You know, this whole murder mystery, cat and mouse chase is nice and all, but let's just play some tennis for a little bit, all right?
Yeah. Well, any other additional thoughts I didn't talk about with this tennis scene, or?
No, I just, you know, again, it's like I like the scene where Elle reveals himself. It's just so cool to like see in their minds.
Yeah.
Because it's like on the outside, it doesn't, you know, it's just like two guys doing whatever. And inside, it's like they're just thinking all this crazy stuff.
And for all people that like, you know, kind of crap with like nerds like us that like anime and stuff, go watch this scene and tell me you don't get like, tell me you.
I know, it's just two guys playing tennis, and it's like, oh, it's so hype.
Yeah, like. How can you, like, it will sound like I'm, but how can you, like, watch Breaking Bad and love it? I know it sounds like I'm trashing but I'm just, because this is if Breaking Bad did this, it'd be, like, the best thing ever. Like, this is the same thing, pretty much. Like,
Yeah. Dexter kind of does this, too, where it's just, like, he's, like, constantly, like, inner monologuing type of thing.
So, like, but just because Death Note's an anime, everyone's like, oh, it's just an anime, don't take it seriously. Like,
yeah,
no,
you can take it just as serious as Breaking Bad. Granted, Breaking Bad's a bit more like grounded in reality. You know, in Death Note, you know, I don't think in real life there's anyone with like a notebook that can kill people.
Yeah, but this is like for a notebook that's about killing people, though. This is pretty
it's like surprisingly grounded.
Yeah, it's decently realistic, like, you know, and they try to make it as like realistic as possible, like, But then
actually, when we finish this, we're gonna make a video about like would Death Note work modern day. But like this time period, like it works fine. Like I feel like if this happened in 2006, it would be like this, you know?
Yeah, even though you couldn't do this like in even 2011 when Facebook started to get like real big and stuff.
Well, actually, the comic came out in like 2001. You know, like the show came out in 2006, so it's a few years later.
But so does this take place in Well, no, it doesn't.
They changed the date, so like the show takes place in 2006, but the comic takes place in 2001.
Well, there was
like if something happens on May 5th, it also happens in May 5th. They just change the dates, like the year.
Well, haven't they made a Death Note like in nowadays era? So
yeah, the Netflix one, but it's we don't talk about that one.
We're gonna
until we do, and that'll be fun.
Anyhow, back to this Death Note. So,
Yeah, good Death Note.
so Light and L go to meet at like a coffee shop because like Light has some questions for L and L has some questions for Light. And L puts Light through a conductive reasoning test, basically to test like to see if he really is Kilo or not. So this was kind of a callback. This is the same like notes that he wrote like episodes ago, saying that I believe Shinigami love apples or something like that. And he did like this is when like Light was just having basically just messing around with L.
Yeah, trying to throw him off by saying weird stuff.
Yeah, and since Light wrote these, obviously he's gonna know what they are. So Light's kind of like at first cautious about like solving it, but he thinks he solved it because basically it's exactly what it was, but it was wrong. L he threw a curveball at Light. He had like a hidden fourth one written on right underneath him, which it's kind of odd because I don't maybe this in a way was supposed to set up that second killer, or I don't know what it was because Light doesn't recall writing that one. So but I believe
so.
I believe Light said it was.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Either that or I think Light said it was a fake too. Like L put the fourth one in to kind of
Yeah, I think he's just testing Light.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what he's trying to do.
And then so there's a big thin, like a little thin that you talked about before we came on here about what L's doing to Light throughout these interactions that they're having with each other. Maybe I don't know if I.
Yeah, he's just constantly lying to him. I wasn't the person who pointed this out. I think I read it somewhere, like saw it in a video. But L said to his dad, "I'm pretty sure Light is like 5%. I'm like 5% sure he's Kira." But when he actually talks to Light, he says, "I'm like 3% sure you're Kira."
Yeah.
So, like, he changes the numbers to make it seem less when he's around Light.
Actually, this test brought the chances up to 3% too. Like at least that's what L said. So and I love.
You don't even know. We never know what L is thinking.
Yeah. And I did like too. They kind of gave like a background information about why L sits the way he does too. I thought it was a nice backstory.
L is just like super practical about everything.
Yeah. And I love too. They both get the phone call about Light's dad getting the heart attack. Which I thought was pretty cool. Like they both get it at like the exact same time. Light from his mom, and L from I believe his lawyer or whatever. And yeah, obviously this was a perfect time to go to a commercial break too, because then everyone was left thinking, because obviously because of the Death Note rules, we were kind of thinking like, no way Light eliminated his father like that. But we find out that the real reason Light's father, I don't know his name off the top of my head, so I'm just gonna say Light's father until I actually like can pronounce his name, and we could have like another situation.
Mr. Yagami,
Yeah, Mr. Yagami. Well, we're gonna finally learn his name now, and he'll be dead like in episode like 40. I don't know. I have a feeling that's gonna happen too. Right when we learn his name, he was gonna be dead. Anyhow.
I don't really know what happens. Yeah, so it could.
Yeah. Because we'll say this, like AJ knows how it let Death Note end, but he stopped watching shortly after the time skip. So
yeah, so it's like I saw 25. No, I saw 26, and then it was like I saw the last episode.
Yeah, so that will be interesting. We'll be in a pretty interesting spot right there. So,
we both be going in blind, kind of.
Yeah, until the end. And then, we find out though that like. He just regularly had a heart attack just because of all the stress that he went through, like with this Kira case.
And I didn't notice it the first time, but yeah, like you can kind of tell he looks like, he looks stressed in the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
Like his hair is kind of like messed up, and he just like looks tired.
Yeah. Even here, he looks pretty tired too and stuff too. I mean, he just had a heart attack too, though. So, but this scene's significant because what happens in this scene pretty much.
Light's dad basically confirms to Light that, this is L. And then Light is really happy about that because he's like, okay, cool, it's not an actor. I know this is my true enemy here. I gotta figure out a way to kill him without being a suspect, but I know who he is now.
Yeah. And, like, Mr. Yagami also, like, points out the fact, that, like, you know, the Death Note, I mean, obviously he doesn't know it's a Death Note, but whatever, like, Kira's using to kill him is cursed in a way. It's cursed light.
Yeah, like it's supernatural.
Yeah. So basically he explains the Death Note without actually knowing it's a Death Note. And then Light's, constantly telling, L, like, you know, he's upset, that, like, you know, he can't convince L that he's not Kira. So he wants, you know, a way to prove it by, like, being away from television for a few days and things like that, but L doesn't want to, like, deprive him of his human needs. So he said that, you know, he will. And this is like the episode 2 where, like, it gets kind of, it gets more, like, it's more of, like, a little plot where, like, L mentions, like, he would like to work with Light on the task force, even if he is Kira. And then this is the scene where basically Light admits, like, you know, having the Death Note's been the best experience of my life, pretty much. Because if you watch the first episode of Death Note, you could tell Light was... We talked about this, like, off camera before, too. Like, Light was bored, kind of, without the Death Note.
And, so like, he kind of hated how corrupt the world was.
Yeah, so the Death Note...
I feel like we all feel like that, you know? Like we hate how, like, crappy the world can be, but we can't really do anything about it.
Now we can.
Yeah, and Light got the power to do it.
Yeah. You can make
absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, yeah.
Yeah, so you can make the argument too, like Mr. Yagami might be telling the truth. Like maybe, like Light became corrupt himself by having this Death Note right here. So.
And it makes sense why his dad is like, but besides being his dad, it makes sense why he's so like, there's no way my son can be Kira.
Yeah.
He raised him his whole life, and Light before getting the Death Note was like a good person,
Yeah. Then the end of the episode is setting up episode 11, where the tapes get sent over to that TV studio from Kira. So we were kind of wondering what's going on here. So I like this episode a lot too. I'm giving it an A also. It's mainly because of also the tennis scene, though.
Tennis makes us an A easily.
Yeah.
Without the tennis scene, it'd be kind of boring, so I would give it like a B+ without it.
Yeah, but that tennis scene just really makes the episode. See, that scene's so great. It ups it like what, like 4 letter grades? Like,
well, it's like besides that, the only thing that like really happens is Light's dad has a heart attack, and like even that, it's like kind of a fake out,
I even like before the tennis scene happens, like Mr. Yagami saying like, I bet L is busting his ass trying to get
risking his life, and it just shows him playing tennis.
Yeah. So yeah. Then we had episode 11. I'll let you mainly talk about episode 11 since I mainly talked about episode 10. This was episode...
Well, in this episode, it's pretty important because, spoilers, we find out that there is another Kira in the picture.
Yep.
Which explains the tapes from last episode, which kind of makes sense because, like, if you think about it, Light doesn't really do stuff like that. He doesn't, like, send tapes out. Like, he does things very, like, cryptically,
Yeah. And then, if you watch, especially, too, if you watch it back to, yeah, I think when I watched it at the time, too, like, so much was happening, like, what's going on here? So it's like, you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, so much mystery. So now, like, looking back with the knowledge, it's like, oh, okay, this makes more sense.
Yeah. I think, too, like, you could kind of tell, too, because Light, he's not in the episode except for, like, one scene in this episode. So it kind of makes sense that he's, because if it was Light, I feel like they would have showcased him more in the episode than they did. But this is basically the Stoughton, the second Kira shows up, and it has, like, the same type of, like, cryptic message that, like, L has in the beginning of what his character is
like an emblem and, like a modified voice filter.
Yeah. Which isn't... L was so much better, but he has better technology probably than
this. Of course, he's like a millionaire.
Yeah. So pretty much, they see that it's Kira, and it kills a couple of people, and basically this message is forced to be sent out by this TV production, or else they're gonna the second Kira will.
And this really shows it's not Light, because it's like Light would Well, first off, Light doesn't. Well, he killed the FBI agents, but like he doesn't go out of his way to kill innocent people.
Yeah.
He only kills innocent people if they're in his way.
Yeah. Which Elle talks about that like later on in the episode too. Like how like Kilo's only killed FBI agents and stuff if they were gonna catch him, or in a threat to catch him. So another tie-in is one of the guys in the task force tries to stop the broadcast. But
not the task force, the police. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it was the task force because he has the heart attack. And this is important because no one, Elle's not supposed to know. Not Elle, sorry. Keela's not supposed to know anybody in the task force like names or anything.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So it was the police first, but I kind of I just jumped because I didn't think it was important to talk about. So
yeah.
So that's important
and that
because
kind of shows like it hints at the Shinigami ideal that you told Light about earlier. Which is you don't need to see where you can see someone's name above their head.
And the lifespan, but obviously the name is more important.
But we found out a little trick about that later.
Yeah, and also too, so basically no one can stop this broadcast because they'll be dead if they go to that door. So what does Mr. Miyazaki do? In a badass fashion, he grabs like one of the police vans and just drives right through the door, which was pretty damn awesome, actually. I gotta say.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I thought we don't really talk about this much because I thought Chief Yagami became very likable in these past 2 episodes. Like he was probably if the second Kira probably hadn't got with the VO, he was probably the highlight of this episode probably.
Yeah. And you know what? I didn't like him at first because he just seemed like a kind of scummy person. Like he was willing to let Al put cameras in his house.
Yeah.
When he has a wife and daughter there,
Yeah.
But this kind of shows he's just trying to do what he thinks is right,
Yeah. So he forces the TV studio to give up the tapes. And he's able to get out because a bunch of the police block the entrance so that way he can't have a heart attack and die. And he gets the tapes. We didn't really say what was on the tapes. It's probably pretty important. Pretty much, they've given ultimatum to Elle to end the task force to cooperate with them. And there's 2 tapes that are going to be played, and basically it's the same thing except tape 3 is if they cooperated. Tape 4 is if they didn't. So tape 4 pretty much the entire task force and Elle have to show their face on screen within 4 days. I believe there's a consequence if they don't, but I forget what it is.
Yeah, just people die basically.
Yeah, I assume. So this was good for Light though in a way because this kind of takes the focus now off of him because now this gives him an opportunity to join the task force.
Himself.
Yeah. Because the first thing that Light says too, when he's done watching is it looks like I have the act of God on my side now, which I thought was a good quote.
Yeah, or God of death, which is what he says after, which is
And then what I like about
in Death Note, which I think is kind of cool.
What?
There's a lot of religion symbolism type of thing.
Yeah.
Because Light thinks he's God in a way.
Yeah. So what makes Death Note so awesome is every time Light's on. Well, I shouldn't say Light knows something. Elle's right there with them. It's
these 2 are neck and neck.
Yeah, because Elle figures out that it's a second Kira based off the reasons that we said. That you said mainly. And then this he wants Light to join the task force. But he doesn't want them to know that this tracking a second Kira. He wants them to think that they're fighting the same Kira. But that there was more on that conversation later, but they don't show it in this episode. And then we meet the new Kira, which you have to tell me your name. If not, I have it written down. I have
Misa.
Misa, and we find out that she has the Shinigami eyes, and that was like the big reveal. Yeah, this episode 2 is also very good. I don't think it's as good as the other two, so I'm giving it an A minus. Because I thought it
I
was
give it a B plus. I feel like the thing that really makes the other two episodes so good is like the L and Light interactions.
yeah, we didn't have it in
And
this one.
This episode didn't really have like any of Light in it, you know.
Yeah, and but I did like Chief Yagami. I thought shined here, and I liked the whole
Oh
setup.
yeah, where he drove through. Yeah, that was awesome.
And I like the setup to like the reveal of the second Kira. But now, if I have a feeling because you have hindsight 2020 because you don't like the second Kira.
Oh no, I hate the second Kira.
So maybe that's why it's a B plus. I mean, I'm not liking the second Kira myself either, but I have a feeling it's because you've seen
She's
more.
kind of dumb, compared to Light, which
Yeah. Which we find out in this episode. Why did you?
Yeah.
Actually, that should be the main thing you. Well, first, we'll just the first half of episode 12 is Light kind of being brought up to speed about really what's going on with the Kira case, at least what they think, anyways. Like
right, like all the information they gathered about like Ray Pember and his fiance.
Yeah. And they kind of they showed like the previous night Light of like what they were gonna do if Light didn't figure out that it was a second Kira. We're not gonna talk about that because it didn't really happen. So and they decide to make a fake message pretending to be the real Kira to interact with the second Kira. And I thought what was kind of funny about this is that Al decides to have Light play the voice of Kira because you just have that. He just says for some reason you just have that Kira presence, which was kind of significant right there. Like,
and then they even point out like, "Wow, you make a good Kira."
Yeah, and he even says, "You probably don't need to have the part in there like how you want L dead." And Light even says, I just got carried away right there." Like, no, you didn't get carried away. Like,
you're just saying what you think.
Yeah.
You know how big of an ego Light is. Like, whenever he can hint that he's Kira, he'll do it.
Yeah. So the message gets sent saying that it's the real Kira and says that she wants to meet the new one. And, Misa sees it, falls for it. Which if obviously this is nonsensical mainly for her. If you think about it, she shouldn't have fallen.
like, if you want to use a Death Note in the first place, you're already kind of a nut job. So, like, she's a little crazy, obviously, but, like...
Yeah. She's just, I don't think like Kira would respawn on like live television, but she sends a response. Why'd you say what was in the response? This is like kind of you.
She just doesn't really hide anything. She's just like, "Oh, what about your Shinigami?" And Light's like, "You idiot!
Yeah,
like you actual idiot. Why would you mention that?"
And this causes like L to have like a nervous breakdown kind of.
Yeah, like falls out of his chair and he freaks out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. Like, you never see L react like that, He's usually super, like blank-faced.
Yeah. So, and then, but they kind of find it as, like, a way that it's Shinigami's kind of, like, a sign, like, a code that they use to kind of communicate with each other or something like that.
Yeah, that's, like, how Light spins it, yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of the other agents says it, and then Light goes along with it. So, and like really spins it in the direction. So, and then I forget exactly like what happened. But the main thing that really happens is we find out how to kill a Shinigami because a Shinigami died because Misa was about to get pretty much raped. Like in a
I think she was about to get killed, actually.
Oh, probably raped too, though.
Probably, because a Shinigami was like watching her, basically, and he fell in love with her, and Rem, just like a friend of the Shinigami. But the Shinigami knew that Misa was gonna die soon because he could see like the lifespan.
Yeah.
But when he saw what was gonna happen, like she was gonna die, he couldn't control himself and killed the stalker rapist guy.
Yeah. And
because he did that, yeah.
It like added more lifespan to her, so it took away his some of his lifespan and stuff.
Yeah, like Shinigami, they kill humans to like add to their lifespan.
Yeah.
But they can't like act. So they can kill humans to add to their lifespan, but they can't like kill a human to save another human. You know.
Yeah.
Like
And
they can't save people. So when they do that, their life they die, and all the lifespan they saved up goes to that human they saved.
Which, I like this because this gives us a backstory on the Shinigami. And we got, like, a bit of backstory about Misa.
Yeah.
About, kind of why she kind of is the way she is. So, and then I believe the ending scene is, Light sitting in the coffee shop, wondering, like, how to find the second killer. Because basically, like, if the second killer gets caught, too, Light's gonna get... Like, it's a chance for Light to get caught, too, because
right. She might talk about like the Death Note and stuff, and that.
Yeah.
And then they'll know what they're looking for, type of thing.
And then
like, they know it's supernatural, but they don't know specifically like what it is.
Yeah. And he's wondering like what this person looks like and everything, and who's like literally sitting like not even like probably like not even 4 feet away from him. Misa wondering what the real killer looks like as Light sitting 4 feet away from her.
And I like how you put it. It's like such a small world, like Destiny type of thing. Like all the people in this huge city,
yeah,
they're just sitting 4 feet away from each other.
Yeah, like.
Oh, to be fair, if you were Kira, would you suspect your crazy killer stalker to be a hot supermodel?
No. No. So then that was episode 12. I thought it was a good episode. I'll give it like a B-. It's more set up for 13. So
yeah, I give it a B+. Same as last episode.
And then
I do like the backstory with the Shinigami who died, and that kind of explains why Rem is like hanging around Misa.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because she was there when and she got handed,
And like this really gets explored like 13, but like you can tell it isn't like Ryuk and Light, like Ryuk doesn't really like Light, he just thinks he's entertaining, like he thinks of him like a pet,
Yeah.
He's just like he likes watching this game with him and L.
Yeah.
But with Rem, like you can tell like she actually cares about Misa.
Yeah. So I like that. I'm sticking with my B- grade though. It was a good episode, but so then we have episode 13, which is the last one. This episode is like, the culmination of 11 and 12 pretty much. So it starts off with another message being where we find like a letter being sent that the new Kira was going to meet with the I shouldn't say the old Kira, but the current Kira, at some place. I believe it's called Note Blue, and it's going to be like taking place like doing like a big baseball game. So they want to get like a couple of like the task force there to make sure like nothing bad happens. So they send out.
Light, because he's super popular, just gets a bunch of friends together, and Matsuda, he says Matsuda is his cousin, so he hangs around them. Matsuda's like the youngest of the task force, so it makes sense why he's like.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is kind of like a criticism of Death Note. None of the task force are really all that interesting except Light's dad and Matsuda.
Yeah.
All the other ones are just kind of like, they're there.
They're kind of just there to, fill the plot. So
yeah,
like there's some of them.
They do important stuff, but like none of them are like super interesting.
Yeah.
Except again, like Light's dad and Matsuda, they're pretty important.
Yeah.
Light's dad with him, ramming a car into the TV.
Yeah, like how could he not be? I mean, obviously one of them wasn't important. They just killed him off just like that in episode 11. So, but then anyhow,
how embarrassing would it be to die of a heart attack in Death Note that wasn't by Kira, In a show filled with heart attacks.
Yeah.
You have the one heart attack that wasn't a murder.
Yeah, pretty much.
That'd be embarrassing.
Especially too, like if they found out like it was like if it was like like this big time criminal, and Light's just writing his Death Note, and imagine too like that's the moment where like L figures out that Light's Kira, and he didn't even like write that guy's name in there too. Like,
yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
this fucking dies out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then he can even like show him that. Well, the thing is too, like Light can't even show him like too that he has no proof that like he didn't write the guy's.
Yeah. What makes you think you're not Kira? I didn't write his name down. See, oh wait, shit. Yeah.
Because then he just shows that he wrote all the other people's names. And then and if L touches the death note, then that's it. Light's caught too.
Yeah, Ryu, and
yeah. Unless L has like another nervous break, like imagine the nervous breakdown if he actually does see like.
Yeah, man, that'd be funny.
Yeah. Anyhow, we're trailing off now, but
yeah.
But
it's late. We're tired. What can you do?
Yeah. So I was gonna say okay. So Light asks Ryuk like if Shinigami that are like owned by humans could talk to other Shinigami and allowed to say who they're owned to and stuff. And basically, it's Light just getting information from Ryuk. And it's Ryuk. He gives like the answers, but he gives like the Ryuk answers where it's not the full answer that Light really kind of wants.
Vague.
Yeah, because that super vague answer would have helped Light in this case. So, because Light had an awesome plan. It's just had he known about the Shinigami ideal, it would have.
Yeah, he didn't know like the specifics. Like yeah. if he knew that like she couldn't see another Death Note user's lifespan, it would have worked fine.
Yeah, because he had like a bunch of people together. And since Ryuk like always stands behind Light, like with the way Light had the situation set up, they would. Yeah,
like it was just all of them walking together, so you couldn't tell who in the group had Ryuk.
Yeah, but because she had the Shinigami eyes, it didn't really work. So.
Yeah, and she got his name too, and she even points out that's like not a super common name.
Yeah.
So it'll be easy to find him.
And it was.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, who names their kid Light?
Yeah. I have a feeling that, like, in Japanese, Light probably is some type of other name that's, like, impossible to pronounce, but...
Honestly, probably... no, I think Light just... She even points out that's a super uncommon name.
True. And then she goes to, his house, and they kind of... And returns the Death Note, or gives her Death Note, so then Light can see, Rem... So does that mean technically now Rem's owned by two people now in this case?
No, she still owns the Death Note. It's like, remember, Light on the bus had dropped a piece of the Death Note so the hijacker would see Ryuk.
Oh, right.
It's like, it's not like the guy became an owner of the Death Note.
Well, I kind of thought like he wasn't because he only grabbed like a piece of it, not the whole thing. So
yeah, just if you touch it. But like say Light killed Misa and then took the Death Note, then he'd be the owner.
Okay. So, because then that would be suck for them to be owned by two people. So
I know, right? I have two Death Notes.
So
although Rem would probably just kill him then.
Yeah. So basically like Light's pissed once she finds out that like she's the new Kira because she almost like blew his cover pretty much.
Yeah, she shows up at his house.
Yeah.
When his mom and sister are there.
Yeah. And luckily too, they did like a scene earlier where Light, because Light didn't want like his mom and his sister to know like he was working with the task force, so he lied saying that he was hanging out with his girlfriend. So this actually worked out kind of perfectly for Light in a way too. So
yeah.
So
they head into his room and to talk about all this murder.
Why don't you talk about this scene? Because this is like the last scene we're really gonna talk about, and I feel like this is like scene is like the biggest scene. Well, not the biggest scene, but like the end and everything.
Yeah, and like these like last two episodes, yeah. Well, Light sits down with Misa, and Light he tries to be calm about it because he doesn't want to like make her mad. But,
yeah.
He's like, look, you can't just go around killing these random people, and like you're messing my stuff up.
Yeah.
And she's like fangirling over him super hard, and we find out that her parents were killed by a murderer who was gonna get off of the charges, but Light killed him. So now she's like grateful for Kira, like to do that.
And this is too when Light finds about the Shinigami deal, so that's important to point out too.
Well, like he knew about the deal, just like now he knows like the specifics of like how she found him. And
I like
he looks like pissed off at Ryuk. Like, thanks Ryuk for letting me know that.
I was even gonna mention, like, he looks right at Ryuk too, right when she says it too. Like, and then she basically, she doesn't even care too, like, if Light's gonna use her. She just wants to be with Kira.
Yeah, she even says like, "Look, you can use me and whatever. Just I want to be near you."
And I think Light, like, realized how careful she was, to meet him. Even though she wasn't like that, like Light even mentioned, like she had like a friend send like the notes and stuff. Like she can.
Right, like she's not as careful as he is, but like she's not a complete idiot.
Yeah.
So, like Light's kind of turning like this disadvantage into an advantage in a way. Like he's kind of working with what he has.
So he goes over, hugs her, and like the Kira like music plays.
The orchestra music.
And
like Light, you can see he has the evilest smile on his face. I love it.
And Light says that I can't be your boyfriend, but I can act like it. And I'm gonna use your Shinigami eyes, and they're gonna become my weapon. And this is like basically now like L's fucked because
kind of because all he needs is like have Misa and L be in the same room.
Yeah.
Get his name, and then Light can just write his name.
Yeah. So this like has me intrigued to like see what's gonna happen like next now. Like, how are they gonna like set up that? Because obviously too, like L's not stupid too. He's not just gonna go into a room with Light's girlfriend too now.
Right.
Too.
And he remember how it took him it took him 10 episodes to meet Light. So like you think he's just gonna meet with this random girl?
Yeah. So it's like it's not like too like it's gonna be as easy. I shouldn't be going into the next episode like I'm not. We should be like this stupid. Like I have a feeling that like these fans are like stupid. Like, oh, Light out, you're dead the next episode, buddy. Like, no, it's not happening. Like,
yeah, but just like it shows like Light is really close to it. Like he just needs to do like 2 things and then he's gone.
Yeah, because basically
it's kind of nice, like so far these past couple episodes, L has cornered Light. Like Light has been like pushed into a corner, and now it's kind of like flipped.
Yeah, like.
That's like the whole show, basically. Light's about to catch Light, and then L's about to catch Light, and then all of a sudden Light's about to kill L.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much the whole show.
Yeah, like, so now it makes you question, like, what's gonna, because obviously, too, like, the only way, like, too, like, Light can, because Light would have to talk about the task force, so he's got to find a way to like, bullshit around that, like, it's just gonna be, yeah, that's just
and, like, he still hasn't like completely earned their trust, like L still suspects him.
Yeah, so because they showed that too in this episode we didn't talk about. Like L calls the guy that was gonna be with Light that day, saying to keep watch out for Light and stuff like that. So, yeah, don't for all those fans that watch it, don't go into like the next episode thinking that like L's dead because that's not happening. So yeah, Well, this episode I thought was awesome. I'm gonna give it like an A-, mainly because of the end.
Yeah, A-, and it makes it really good.
Yeah, I mean we make it sound like all Death Notes are like that, but it's really not. It's just I think too because Death Note's shorter. Like a lot of the scenes that take place are a good chunk of the episode too. So it's like and the scenes that are awesome are just awesome. So
yeah.
But
a lot of for these episodes only being like 20 minutes, a lot of stuff happens.
Yeah. And I feel like too, at least something significant happens within each. I think the only like episode that's really like filler, is episode 12 really.
Yeah.
But because that really sets up episode 13. But
like 12 and 11 are kind of the same-ish.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's basically the end of the video. We can finally review Death Note again.
New episodes now that we've covered these episodes that you reviewed 3 years ago.
Yeah. I forget to I'd have to look up too what my I want to do that real quick. What my hopefully it can just be a quick thing. I want to look up what my thumbnails were for these episodes now. Just to make, and then we'll end the video. Want to do your plugs while I look it up?
Check out my channel, AJ Talent. I'll be getting my cap and gown for my high school graduation soon. So when I get those, I'll put them on and like make a little video like, hey, I'm graduating high school. That's cool. This is what I look like.
Yeah. And also for me, Wrestling Fortune 44 for all my wrestling videos. I just reviewed a CAW wrestling league called Weymouth Youth Wrestling. We're gonna at some point hopefully be able to do the Immortal show. And also check out On the Talkinator. We just finished Breaking Bad like a month ago, so if you wanna watch some videos of that, then fine.
Pretty soon we'll be making a couple like Breaking Bad videos of like if we think Walter won or lost.
Yeah.
Things like that. We won't go into details on what happens because we don't want to spoil it for people who just watch our Death Note videos.
Correct. So, all right. So I'll tell you what the thumbnails were for these reviews I did myself. So obviously I already told you what episode 9 was. When Light looks at like L when they're going up on the stage, and then the episodes like not the tennis like match, but like they're like sitting next to each other, standing next to each other, like about to have it. Because I don't think I could find like the actual picture. Because the Death Note pictures aren't easy to find online. So, and then like the first time we see Misa, but I couldn't get her with like her eyes open with the Shinigami eyes. So her eyes are like closed, but I didn't have a lot to work with. And then the scene where Rem tells Misa about the how to kill a Shinigami, and then this is actually pretty perfect. The thumbnail for the episode we just talked about is Light hugging Misa. I was able to find that one. So
I like that thumbnail the best.
Yeah, actually, I like the Light L one the best actually. When they're standing like right behind each other. So, but yeah, that's basically the end of the video. Just be ready for Death Note videos like right up the ass now.
Oh yeah, we'll be uploading a lot these next couple days, so look forward to that.
Yep. So that's basically it, guys. Talk to you later.